Hello and welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Mark.
And I'm Sean, and we're bringing you movie reviews with a twist.
And today we're going to be reviewing Bounty Killer. Where the bloody hell's Joe? He said he'd be here for 9 this week.
Didn't you get his email?
I never read his emails.
Well, basically, he's not coming in this week. He's training to become a bounty killer. He's down at the local bar.
What, the rusty trombone?
Yeah, that's the one.
Joe? What are you doing?
I'm training to become a bounty killer, innit?
You do know what a bounty is, right?
Chocolate bar and some paper towels. Look, that's what I'm shooting here. And when I'm finished here, I'm going to get a massage. That's for a happy ending.
You do know what a happy ending is, right?
Of course I do, Mark. It's when the masseuse finishes you off.
Well, as long as you know. Joe does know that only men work at the Rusty Trombone, right? A few weeks ago we reviewed the grindhouse flick Machete Kills, in which I told you guys that I thought it pretty much sucked. So we're going to try again and see if another grindhouse film can cut the mustard.
I quite like Machete Kills, Sean. Anyhow, today we're taking a look at the 2013 post-apocalyptic action movie Bounty Killer.
Henry Sane, the director of The Last Lovecraft, Relic of Cthulhu, takes to the directing chair of Bounty Killer. He also wrote, produced and did some visual effects for the movie too.
Right at the start, Bounty Killer throws you into its world with no real explanation as to what is going on. But just as you're sitting there wondering what the hell it's all about, you get a cool little fight sequence that sets the tone rather nicely, as we get to see Matthew Marsden as Drifter, and of course the lovely Christiane Petra as the ass-kicking femme fatale Mary Death.
Basically, the world got screwed up thanks to greedy corporations, and then the owners of said corporations did a runner with everyone's money. Born from the ashes of the old world, a new council has risen to lay down order in the new society.
This group, calling themselves Council of Nine, issue warrants for the death of the white-collar criminals, and it's the job of the bounty killers to track and kill the corporate fat cats.
It all seems very serious right about now, with people getting killed and their bodies traded in for cash. You'd think that there's some comic relief to be had. Well, you'd be right, and that comes in the form of Jack LeMans, who is played by Berandal. Jack is a mechanic and fanboy for the bounty killers, and offers his services to Drifter as a gun caddy. And what's that, you may ask? Well, it's like a golf caddy, only with guns. Simple.
Now, unfortunately for Drifter, a contract gets put out on him, which means that all the other bounty killers, including Mary Death, are going to be after him. With all this trouble hot on his heels, Drifter sets off to find the council and attempt to clear his name. Now, along the way, Drifter and Jack come across a few notable characters and groups.
The first group are a band of gypsies. Now, these gypsies aren't what you or I are used to. These are face paint wearing, cannibalistic, ruthless scoundrels. Okay, I guess they are like the gypsies we know, minus the face paint. Bagsy not get it?
Bagsy not. Balls. Hello?
Hello there, my mush. I see your driveway looks a little bit shabby. Me and my family could tarmac it for you if you want.
Mark! Who's at the door?
Some jibbo wants to know if I want to drive tarmacking.
Haven't we already got somebody outside doing that?
Yeah, good point. We've already got someone doing this, mate.
Well, you did have. Busy old badger, though.
Yeah, okay.
Now, this is a very simple overview of the film, but hopefully we've given you enough to go out and buy either the DVD or check it out on VOD, because quite simply, you bloody well should. I thought this was an extremely fun, action-packed, well-shot and entertaining film, which had great characters, a unique story and some awesome action, gore and satire too.
There are also some pretty good visual effects for a low-budget movie. Well, for the most part. There is the odd explosion effect that looks like something we would knock up, but on the whole, it generally looks really good. The characters are all likeable, especially Barack Hardley's character, who is pretty much there as a comedy sidekick, and yet his character remains entertaining and likeable throughout, and he never becomes an annoying numpty, which could very, very easily have happened if they took the character too far.
The attention to detail was also great, and even some of the more underused characters were also entertaining too, most notably that of Daft Willie, who's played by Kevin McNally, whose character was grumpy, cantankerous, yet hilarious with his witty comments. The movie also featured a bounty killer training facility, cum bar, cum whorehouse called the Thirsty Beaver, which in my opinion is a great and hilarious name for such a venue, as it serves both refreshing beverages and alcohol too.
There are other nice touches in the movie as well, that just managed to stay on the right side of ridiculous so they were never overly stupid. The motorbike-driven stagecoach being a good example, as it manages to be equal parts cool and retarded, without being implausibly ridiculous.
On the downside though, as well as the odd special effect looking a bit artificial, there are a few obvious continuity errors too, but nothing that really takes you out of the film for more than a few seconds.
In fact, the only major fault that I have with the movie is in the rather patchwork story that's being told. There are things that feel as if they've not quite been fully explained, and as a result, watching the movie can feel like you're watching a TV series in which you've missed a few episodes that explain a lot of the vital backstory.
I would also like to take a moment to offer a recommendation to any Americans that are casting British people in their movies. Having a British person say bollocks and using other British phrases is fine, but don't also give their character Americanisms too.
Yeah, as no British man will ever tell a woman that she's got spunk. It's got a completely different meaning over here, guys.
Ready for your final thoughts, Mark?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, right, I'll do mine first and then...
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Right. The only problem I had with the movie would have been the CGI, which, bollocks. Thought you told the bloody gypsy to bugger off.
I did, but you know what they're like, you can't get rid of them. I'll deal with it. Sorted.
You really dealt with that gypsy, Mark. You've got balls.
Yep, but he doesn't. Not anymore.
Mark, you've got spunk.
Thanks, Sean.
No, you've got spunk.
Spoons.
The only problem I had with the movie was some of the CGI, which made a film that looked and sounded great seem less of a blockbuster and more of an indie flick. Other than that, it was a pretty cracking film which had a great story, interesting characters and a whole bunch of great action sequences. If you're feeling disillusioned by the lackluster performance of Machete Kills and want a grindhouse style flick that is everything you wanted from Robert Rodriguez, then please feel confident in turning to Henry Sane and this corker of a film, Bounty Killer.
The film does feel a little disjointed at times, but a lot of work has gone into it, and I get the impression that everyone involved really got into the project and cared about what they were doing. Not only that, but it looks like everyone had a great time making the movie too, and I do think that they made exactly the film that they intended to, and for that, I congratulate them. It may not be the most cohesive viewing experience, but it is a fun movie with a fair share of guns, blood and action, and best of all, it was entertaining, so for that, it gets my recommendation.
Thanks for watching this Bounty Killer movie review. If you've made it this far into the video, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow along with ChapterSkip on Facebook and Twitter. All the links are in the description. If you have any thoughts on the movie or our review, then go ahead and post these in the comments section below. And finally, please like and share this video. Thanks.
And he offers his services to Drifter as a gun caddy. And what's that meow? Meow. And what's that meow? Which had great characters, a unique story, and some awesome action and core and satire.
It was awesome.
Awesome.
So they were never overly stupid. The motorbike-driven stagecoach for Hello?
Hello there, my mush. I see your driveway's a bit shabby. Would you like me and my family to tarmac? Don't you fucking nigger, you cunt.
Don't need to do the sound effects.
Don't do the noise, yeah, sorry. Alright, sorry.
Pew, pew, pew.